Good evening, race fans. It is time for more Zelda 1 Randomizer. We're here in the Rookie Rumble tournament, and tonight we have Kali and Yumi. These two have actually played each other before in the group stage, but they ended up both 2-1, so this is going to be a tiebreaker for seeding moving up into the brackets. I am Dr. Brian Lorgon 111, and I'm joined tonight in the booth by Darthling. How are you doing tonight?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, and I'm looking forward to watching this race because the first one came out really close. Yumi ended up edging him out, but I think they were both going into 9, like right around the same time. It was a couple weeks ago. I quickly glanced at the footage again because I didn't quite remember, but I think this is going to shape up to be a really good race, and so I'm looking forward to seeing what these runners will put on for us tonight.
Yeah, Yumi's a veteran. He's got a sub 30 in vanilla. I don't remember too much about Kali. Do you have any info on him?
I do not as well. It's another runner. There's so many. We've got 48 rookies in this tournament, and there are so many that I haven't had a chance to watch. And Kali is one of them, other than me going back and looking at kind of the highlights of their previous run. But they're starting in the Dead Woods, and are both going to head over to Vanilla 3 to give things a look, but the Lionels are going to give them trouble.
This is probably my least favorite thing about this overworld is seeing those guys sniping left and right.
Lionels can be really bad news. Yeah. Even just having a boomerang or something could be a game changer when they're around in the overworld. But we'll see. It looks like Kali is now headed over to... Oh, wow! An open cave that has the wood sword right off the bat. And so that is one problem solved. And it looks like he manages to get that first kill and cash in on the global bomb drop. He kills a blue moblin, picks up some bombs, and now he's got 4 bombs in his pocket as well, and discovers the location of the magical sword.
All right, Yumi gets his sword. Let's see if he can get his global.
And it looks like up on that Death Armos screen, it's just no soup for you. I believe that's one of the door repair charges. Fortunately, no money to lose. Looks like we have a medium secret of 32 rupees that Kali has found over at the little cave south of the bridge over the river. Meanwhile, we have some divergence in our runners. Yumi's decided to head over to the corner of the Deadwoods to the open cave and finds level 2, which has 2 floor drop items. And so this could be a good one to just try to pop into and see if you can grab some early gains.
There's that boomerang that would have helped with the Lionels. Califax has his candle.
Out of Take Any over near start. So that's nice. We've got a blue candle on one side, we've got a magic boomerang on the other, both of our runners picking up some basic auxiliary items that's going to make it at least easy for them to traverse the overworld and find a bunch of spots. Relatively cheap keys and meat in that shop.
So I wonder if Yumi's going to go check the raft spot at some point, since he can do the world wrap. Even without the ladder, he can at least see the item on the coast without being able to acquire it yet.
We will see as Yumi heads up into the grave. Meanwhile, Kali managed to find level 8 and is going to choose to try to dig some of it. But Yumi up at Vanilla 6 finds level 1, which immediately presents a couple of key doors. He'll be able to walk out and in order to pirouette one of those open. And perhaps inside the dungeon he might be able to get another one open, but it looks like for right now... Oh no, he's going back in. 1 is usually a good dungeon to go ahead and try to dive, especially with the sword already in hand. Picks up a key for his trouble already.
Alright, Callie has the bow already.
Wow. Dungeon basement in level 8, just a couple screens from the entrance. That's a really huge pickup to get this early. Yumi decides to go ahead and pick up the clock in order to finish up the Dark Nuts. And picks up another key. So at this point, somehow he's managed to turn a +2 keys in level 1. That's a relative rarity. And as Yumi just continues trying to kill some of the bad guys in level 1, Kali is back out to the overworld after having grabbed that bow, just exposing a few more of the candle spots near start and now over into the forest. There's a lot of bad guys in this room, but Yumi expertly places a bomb to hit almost all of them. Meanwhile, Callie takes a second to take any. This time he's going to take the heart, bringing him up to 4 hearts. One of the flags that we have in the Rookie Rumble tournament is that the White Sword Cave always has the White Sword, so once you have between 4 and 6 hearts in any given seed, you'll have a chance to pick up the White Sword. And did I just see the wand on the floor for Yumi there?
That was the wand, yes.
That is a huge pickup. The wand, of course, is going to do twice as much damage as the wood sword, and it's also got a better hitbox, as well as the ability to fire at range. So that's a huge combat upgrade for Yumi this early in the match. Meanwhile, Kali is finding the Any roads. Looks like our Armos item tonight is a heart container up at the grave. Kali is going to go ahead and grab that, and with 5 hearts is also already very likely to be able to pick up the White Sword if you should find the cave. Meanwhile, Yumi's going to choose to spend one of his 2 keys in level 1 in order to continue to try to clear it out. With the White Sword and Wand and Wood Sword combination, he's taking out these Gibdos pretty quickly. Pole's voice will take a little bit of time. Looks like he's maybe going to skip out on that room unless he has to, or he just wanted to reset as Pole's voice was running right at him. These guys do so much damage for little bunny rabbits. Oh! He manages to get the clock. We'll be able to finish off most of them, but I think he might have to exit the room and re-enter in order to kill the last one and see if the room's going to drop. Or maybe he'll be able to clip down here. Both players making really good use of bombs in order to clear out Dark Nuts and some of these other enemies in level 1. And Yumi's determined to dig out the dungeon. He picked up another key, but is going to go ahead and spend it in order to try to finish off the last few rooms of level 1. Level 1, of course, has 3 items in addition to the Triforce.
Was the heart that he got a staircase drop?
That is a great question. I don't remember him going down a stair, so I want to feel like it was a
either.
floor
So
drop.
this could be the stair item for the.
Yeah.
He's got two drops already from this one.
Yeah, the wand and the heart. Chat's telling us it was held by a Gibdo, so yeah, it was on the floor. So yeah, this Patrick could definitely be covering the basement. And yeah, Yumi's capable. Just need to be very careful here. Meanwhile, it looks like Kali has decided to take an exit in order to possibly farm some more bombs, or it's just going to move along. But it's a super room for Yumi. It's the Triforce, and right below it in the basement is the Any key. That is a huge pickup to get early in the seed. In addition to just not having to worry about key doors, you can unlock all of them with the Any key. It's also the case that you just save a bit of time cumulatively, not having to walk through and actually pick up all the keys that you see on the floor. There'll be times when you're like walking past a room in the like Triforce layout geometry where the key is in the center, and just not having to spend the time to walk around the wall and go pick up the key and walk back to the next door. There's a bunch of rooms like that, and that'll save you a lot of time over the seed. So Yumi is now also discovering the Any roads. And they're actually, seems like pretty decent. We've got one on Eastern Death Mountain, one over near the grave, one in the forest, and one in the southwest of the Deadwoods. That's some of the best Any roads I've seen in a while. I don't know about you, Darthling, but it seems like whenever I play a seed, I get 4 Any roads that are all like up in the northeast.
Yeah, I've been having a lot in the northwest recently, where like 3 of the 4 in the same region.
Well, Califax witnesses the Triforce in level 2, but definitely wants to get the items out, and so is continuing further north into the dungeon. He can easily go back and pick up the Triforce on the way out later. Kali making quick work of these ropes, but now hasn't found a map. So there might be a magic bomb wall, and also doesn't have any bombs, but there is a blue Octorok outside. And so it looks like Kali is just going to grab the Triforce. And I'm not sure if he's going to try to get some bombs and go back in, or just leave this as something to come back to later. That's a tough choice. Looks like Kali is moving on. Meanwhile, Yumi is about to discover the same level 2. And so we'll see if there is a different outcome as Yumi enters this dungeon with 5 bombs in hand. And yeah, to answer a question in chat, the wand was in level 1 as one of the floor drops. The Any key was in the basement of level 1, and there was also a heart container on the floor in level 1. Oh, Yumi spends a bomb to get the force on the Moldorm, but then gets Y-forced and doesn't get a chance to pick up the bomb drop.
Super unlucky.
So for anyone who doesn't know, Moldorm has 10 segments. Yumi's just going to repeat the process here. And so if you take a hit to reset your consecutive kill counter to 0, and then kill all 10 segments of the Moldorm, with the final kill being with a bomb, you get a forced bomb drop. And so Yumi does that in order to refresh the bombs, and so now with 5 bombs, once again, we'll see, once he gets to the very top of this dungeon, if he chooses to spend some random bomb speculatively, trying to find the random bomb hole that'll expose the rest of the dungeon. And on the second try, does manage to find a bomb hole, which leads to a Gliok. And Kali is hot on his heels, also back with 5 bombs in Dungeon 2, also choosing to bomb the exact same set of walls, and so is going to get to the Gliok a moment later.
And Yumi has found the ladder.
So we are 15 minutes into the race, and Yumi has a ladder, a wand, and any key. That's a pretty amazing set of items. But yeah, once Kali manages to dive, one will find easy opportunity to pick up those same items as well. Meanwhile, both our runners are pretty much high-fiving each other here, killing off a few gels. Yumi has the any key. Kali's going to have to spend down to 1 key, which might present problems in Dungeon 1. We will see. Yeah, there's another key door here. So this is going to run Kali down to 0. And so that might end up being a big deal later. We will see. And so Yumi's checking the map. Perhaps forgot that he got the magic boomerang right at the beginning of the level.
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder the same thing. Because he's seen both items. It's really easy to forget to mark the boomerang because most people don't want it.
Yep. But Yumi's back out into the overworld, and meanwhile Kali still has to go back and somehow, I guess, didn't kill this room that has the ladder. Is that what happened? Oh no, this is just to get through the shutter again. Must have been one of those offshoot rooms.
I didn't actually catch which room on the map you picked it up in, so you may still need a bomb to the left to get that item.
Well, it was
never
with the
mind.
Gliok.
It
All
was
right.
here. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
He almost had it, but he was in danger of dying, so he took a different path and then came back to it.
Well, Kali's also in a fantastic position because 18 minutes into the race has the bow and the ladder, 2 of the most important items. And so I think both runners, it's often the case that runners feel like they might be behind and are worried about where their opponent is. I can imagine both the runners feeling like they're ahead right now, which is a rarity. Yumi would like to have a candle, but sadly the merchant is not going to sell it to him without the appropriate number of rupees. Meanwhile, Kali is going to pick up another Take Any Heart.
There we go. Yumi found his candle.
Nice. Kali decides to pick up some bombs while he happens to be in the shop. And it looks like at the end of Candle Row, I think that was Dungeon 9. Meanwhile, Yumi is getting his first look at Dungeon 8. It's a somewhat expensive bomb upgrade that's just a couple rooms into Dungeon 8 for 118 rupees. We'll see how nice the seed is with some of the rest of the money. If the runners will actually have the opportunity. Go ahead.
Kali took a potion on the Take Any.
Alright, so Kali took a candle, 2 heart containers, and now a potion. And so that means all the Take Any's were found, and they were all relatively near the start. Or near the vanilla start, at least.
Alright, Kali's found his 5th dungeon now.
So level 6, there was a moat room there. Kali did not try to cross the moat. I wonder if Kali in the moment remembers the ladder, or is just trying to look around and scope out the dungeon and see who's here. It's Wizrobes.
Yeah, I think it was probably trying to scout the enemy because the gels aren't going to tell you anything.
Indeed. And while Yumi grabs another Take Any Heart, it seems like Kali is going to say, you know what, I can do these Wizrobes later when I have at least the white sword. So it's going to move right along. I think that's a good call.
CD Improv with the amazing Wizrobe emote there. Not sure who that came from. Oh, that is hers. That's really cool.
I have animations turned off on my Twitch chat emotes. I'll have to figure out if there's a way that you can like click on them or something
It has
in order to watch them.
Blue Wizrobe that has a sinister looking laugh and then it disappears.
That sounds about right. Ooh, 144 rupees for the large secret. Yumi will be happy to find that. It's heading over to the coast to check out the cave. And I didn't remember seeing either of our runners actually pick up the coast heart yet. I guess we're about to find out. Yumi is going to grab it right now.
Callie dipping into 8 to refill his health to keep exploring.
That's always a nice little strategy when you just need a quick health refill. Pop into a dungeon, get back up to 3 hearts. Keep yourself alive while you continue across the overworld. Until you get like the recorder and a few Triforces, or unless your Any roads are really spectacular. Don't want to take an overworld death because it really is going to cost you time.
Ah, give me find secrets. Let's see if we have any useful ones.
Gulyak returns with the book. So that means the book is the other, or one of the other 2 items in level 8. We already know that the bow is in one of the basements. The book, of course, is an atlas in this flag set, and so it's a very valuable item to have at least before Dungeon 9, and the earlier you get it, the better. And I missed the price on the blue ring there. Was it $251?
I missed it as well. I'm actually not thinking either runner is going to try to buy it. Because Yumi actually probably could have already gotten it if he wanted. In Califax, or Callie hasn't really had.
Oh!
Oh, that's really.
Golly dies a step away from actually
Oh.
picking up the Coast Heart. And yeah, that's unfortunate. Perhaps learning a lesson, decides to go visit the fairy in the Deadwoods before continuing onwards. And yeah, we might be at that point now where Yumi's advantage of having the wand and just being able to kill off a number of enemies quicker and more easily is going to start turning into a mounting advantage for him, both in dungeons and in terms of just traversing the overworld without any deaths. So Yumi's making good progress here in level 3. Once again, this is another one of the dungeons with the Guria set, which is the easiest of the 3 enemy sets. And level 3, obviously, is the smallest remaining level, since he's already cleared out levels 1 and 2. Making quick work. A heart container is the basement item in level 3. Meanwhile, Kali taking a slightly different route on the way back over to the Coast Heart. It's gonna be able to scout out a few more open caves and burn bushes along the way. But yeah, right there, Yumi didn't have to take 2 extra steps to go pick up the key, because he has the any key, and that's gonna happen in like 30 rooms in the rest of the seed, and so all those couple of seconds are gonna add up.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said for the time that you spend debating whether you should open a key door. Like, you're saving time for that as well, having it this early. Trying to figure out if you're going to get your money's worth out of the key.
Attempt number 2, Kali does successfully pick up the Coast Heart, and now is continuing up the coast to explore some more of the overworld up here in the northeast.
And Yumi gets the yellow boomerang.
And the Triforce out of level 3 to go ahead and wrap that dungeon up. Dungeon 5 ends up being in the giant hollowed out tree up in the northeast. Looks like it has the same dungeon palette as Dungeon 3. And once again, Yumi, with the any key, just doesn't have to think twice, just walks right through that key door. And Dungeon 5, first set of stairs is always going to be a transport, right? No, it's actually the basement, and it's got the raft. And there is one of the two raft spots kind of just around the corner outside this dungeon. So as Yumi's on the way out, we'll see if he goes ahead and remembers that he has the raft and tries to check out that spot.
Alright, Callie's getting close to blue ring money if he decides that he wants to go for it. And both runners have seen 5 dungeons. We're only missing 4 and 7 as far as having total knowledge. Alright, Callie coming into level 3. Maybe opting to check some other stuff before going for the items in there.
I like this check. There's like 2 or 3 open caves really near here. Before diving a dungeon with the wood sword, quickly check these caves. One of them might be the white sword cave. You've already got at least 6 hearts, and you'd prefer to dive the dungeon with the white sword, and so I think that's a very heads-up play.
Yeah, now Callie's seen all 7 dungeons that we know of so far. So a little bit of advantage based on knowledge.
But once again, we get to enjoy both runners being in the same dungeon at the same time. Kali finds a potentially much-needed key. It starts continuing up the left-hand side. Meanwhile, Yumi is kind of up toward the right. We do have whiz robes in this dungeon. And Kali's decided to duck out. I wonder if Kali is really thinking about that white sword. There aren't that many left places, probably, to map things out. Or Kali just wants to do Dungeon 3, which doesn't have whiz robes, and it'll be an easier time, and maybe he can pick up a good upgrade there first. I'm going to try to remember afterwards, if we get a chance to do an interview, of what Kali was thinking kind of in that moment of finding Dungeon 3 and 5 right next to each other.
I will jot down a note on my handy-dandy marker board.
Nice. Alright, it sounds like we have switched audio to Kali's side. To a Screaming Gliok discovers the boomerang in level 3. And once again, doing a great job of using bombs in order to hasten the combat while he's still on wood sword. Meanwhile, Yumin does find the Triforce piece in level 5. The small secret is 5 rupees. I can't remember if we've actually seen one of those before. And yeah, all the game audio just got louder on my end, so I'm not sure if that's also coming through on the stream. But meanwhile, Kali is going to get the basement heart out of Dungeon 3 as well. And now just needs to run back and grab the Triforce, and we'll be completely done with this dungeon.
Alright, Yumi's found level 7.
Was that over there in the Lost Hills waterfall area somewhere? I didn't see exactly. Well, there's an immediate 4 heart, and once again, it's a Guerrilla set. Stalfo's carrying around the 4 heart there for Yumi, and so this is going to be another quick dungeon, I expect. Well, I say quick, it's level 7. It might have a lot of rooms.
Yeah, I didn't quite catch where level 7 was. I was watching Kali finish up on his side.
Well, we'll probably see it on his side shortly. There's again the spiral stair. There was a key drop. Yumi doesn't have to walk all the way around the room in order to pick up that key. Kali, if Kali ends up going into level 7, might have to take that extra time. And it's the second heart in level 7, so the 2 items in 7 are a heart and a heart. But that does bring Yumi up into being Mags eligible. In Randomizer, the magical sword can be picked up somewhere between 10 and 14 hearts, and we did see Mags up near the Death Armos screen way back at the beginning of the seed. That's not too far from their start screen, so I don't think Yumi's going to rush over there, but at some point I expect to see a check.
Alright, and Kali finding level 4 after getting a blue ring, so now we know where all the dungeons are.
Wow, and there were a number of dungeons, like 3 and 5 were very close to one another. It seems like maybe 4 and 7 are really close to one another. Which is both good and bad. I guess it kind of depends. If like the players get the recorder, you'd prefer to have the dungeons spread out so it means you can warp to more places on the overworld, maybe. Oh yeah, Guerrilla grumbles by a lake. It must have been Waterfall Lake. So one dungeon is just north of the other. But yeah, we are coming up on 40 minutes into this seed. And so far, really, the story of it is Yumi found Dungeon 1 early, which gave him the wand and the Any key, and that's just been a significant advantage that's just kind of continuing to compound. Kali is still playing great and doing a good job of hanging in to keep it close, but really needs a combat upgrade and may or may not really get hung up on the keys at some point. But now for at least the 3rd time, both runners are in the same dungeon once again. Yumi got here a little bit earlier, still looking for the Triforce. Meanwhile, Kali's got one of the 2 hearts here out of Dungeon 7. But there's the Triforce for Yumi. Managed to escape the 7, seeing definitely, I don't know, maybe half, at most 2/3 of the dungeon, I think.
Yeah, Kali having to spend about 15 seconds to wrap around and grab that key, and then head north.
But yeah, rooms like this with these dark nuts, Yumi is just able to take them out nice and fast with the wand, although Kali was using an excellent use of bombs to make those dark nut rooms be pretty quick as well. Still should not be forgotten that Kali does have one significant advantage over Yumi thus far, which is Kali chose to dip a bit of 8, found a bow in the basement. Liak holds Triforce here in level 4, but Yumi still wants the items, and it looks like this will be one of them. A very clean clip. Grabs another heart container. I think that Mags check is going to be coming up sometime in the next 10 minutes. We're at 40 minutes now, and Yumi just got his 11th heart.
Gonna have to wonder if Kali's gonna try to dip back and check up for Mags as soon as he gets done with this dungeon. At 40 minutes in with only 2 Triforce pieces, I know I would feel incredibly behind.
Yeah, and I don't think we saw a hint for where the White Sword Cave was either. With this flag set, even if you don't find the White Sword Cave, having explored, like half to 2/3 of the overworld, usually you'll at least stumble upon the hint. And so it might have been turned into a community hint. It might be the case that the hint and the White Sword are both blocked, or they might just be up in the corner of Death Mountain, but I don't think either of the runners has managed to go and visit just yet. And Kali has exited Dungeon 7 in order to try to get some more bombs from the Octoroks outside, it seems like. I don't remember if Yumi actually had to bomb any walls in order to get to the Triforce. Oh, and Kali is just moving on, it looks like. Which means likely going to find the White Sword, assuming that it's not blocked and it is somewhere on Death Mountain. And so that will be kind of much needed relief, but in the meantime, Yumi's just going to get farther ahead, it seems. Yumi makes a check of the map and tries to decide where else needs to be explored. Gets shuttered in with the Gyptos in the tea room here and wisely decides just to up an A. That'll be much quicker than fighting your way out. Very little to lose. And with these Pole's Voice being one of the few rooms left for Yumi, is going to go ahead and try to take him out with the Wood Sword Wand combination. Pole's voice proved to be too much for Yumi, who is still, after a continue, 3 hearts and a green tunic. He's trying to decide if he wants to go back in.
Such a tricky room to clear, especially with the turret.
Yeah, with the BMOS constantly shooting, that makes this really rough. Kali discovers locations of other hints. They're somewhat expensive, and in any case, Kali has no money to spend. Desperately hoping to find the white sword up here, I imagine. But the Pole's voice take out Yumi again. We'll see whether it's going to be stubbornness and skill, or if Yumi's going to decide, you know what, the bow is going to have to be found somewhere, unless it's in this room. Maybe I'll be able to come back with a better opportunity later on. Or maybe there's one other location that has not been tried. Yeah, chat suggesting could also just whittle the room down, run in there, kill 2 or 3, leave the room, up A, continue, do it again. Throw down a bomb just for fun. Doesn't actually affect the Pole's voice, but just venting frustration. I think that was just an accidental selected item. And while I was looking at that, I missed was Kali just finishing off the west side of Death Mountain. Kali's out of bombs. Oh.
Yeah, the one downside of getting the blue ring when he did is there's not a lot of money left to purchase other things that you might need, like bombs.
And the arrow, like, that's another thing. Like, Kali's had the bow for, I don't know, a half an hour or something. And so that's a potential advantage to have over Yumi. But in order to capitalize on that advantage, you need the arrows to go with it. So that, for example, the room that Yumi is struggling with right now, Pole's voice, if Califax had managed to buy the arrows, that would have been a trivial room to go ahead and conquer. Yumi's taken a different tack, decides to ladder clip across the T in order to get up into this portion of the dungeon and try to witness another room that he hasn't been able to finish before. Meanwhile, Kali can't seem to catch a break with the globals, killing all kinds of blue moblins and blue octoroks. Still no bombs. There's Triforce 4 for Yumi. We'll get to listen to the delightful sound of a screaming Gluyak for the next few minutes. Or no, he goes right back into the dungeon.
Go back into that Pole's voice room with full health.
Yeah, utilizing the Triforce as a health refill is a great strategy, and this was a good time to use it, based on how difficult this room has proven already. There's a clock drop for Kali. At least he knows where his global is right now. So I believe he just got kill number 4 or 5, so next one could be a bomb drop if he can find a bomb dropper group, and here they are, so we should get at least 2 chances right here.
Well, that sure is an interesting level 4. He's missing a segment.
Finally a bomb for Kali. And it happens right outside Dungeon 5, and so Kali's going to redip this dungeon now. But it's got to be feeling desperate for him, I expect. There's a clock for Yumi. All this tenaciousness in this dungeon is perhaps finally going to pay off.
Okay, so Yumi's actually seen the segment. He just didn't go to the second room that it provided.
Oh no! Kali almost had that blue and red Wizrobe room finished off in level 5, and then took a death on the very last Wizrobe. So while Kali's probably feeling frustrated, I imagine Yumi might be too, because Yumi has sunk a lot of time into this level 4, and it just has not worked out trying to get the item out.
Finally, Kali gets a clock and we'll be able to clear this room out.
So back around 18 minutes, I was saying both of our runners probably felt ahead because they'd gotten such great stuff at the start. And now here we are a bit later in the seed, around 52 minutes, and both the runners are probably feeling behind because for both of them, the last 10 minutes has not gone well.
And the item was a red ring after he spent all that money.
Oh, for Kali and 5, wow.
That's gotta be a little frustrating with all the bomb troubles and everything else. He's been fortunate with keys, but, like, not
That's
entirely
true.
sorted.
Okay, this time Yumi is through the segment, bombing to the south into this hidden room, but is down to half a heart. Beamos make the room that would otherwise be pretty easy somewhat troublesome. And it's a 5-er. So now Yumi's like, what did I miss? And I don't know the answer. I'm not sure if Yumi was able to discover on his tracker what the answer was, but in any case, Yumi's moving right along. There's another heart container for Yumi. Yumi's now up to 12, and recall that the magical sword location is back near their start.
So I wonder if Yumi's going to go looking for the other two dungeons he hasn't seen yet. He hasn't seen level 9 or level 6 yet. Oh, now he's found 9.
Now Yumi's up to 13 hearts, thanks to that final take Annie. And so I think we're going to see a Raft check and then a Mags check.
Max is guaranteed on 14, correct?
Correct. There's our Raft check, and he might just up an A out of here, actually, because that might be a quicker way to get over. Oh, there's the potion letter. Gonna risk the Slamu coming back across the bridge. And there it is.
One of my favorite things in the game. Followed by accidentally hitting left or right.
Meanwhile, Kali is actually going to be the one who is going to check the magical sword. But it does not lift at 10. And I'm sorry, you said followed closely by what?
Accidentally hitting left or right and sending myself back over.
Link just really wants to be on a boat. Whenever he gets on that dock, anything will send him there. Alright, 13 hearts. Will Yumi be worthy of picking up the magical sword? The answer is yes. You're going to go ahead and utilize the fairy fountain refill. Take the time to consider his options, exactly what he needs to do and what his route is going to be to try to clear the rest of the map. And meanwhile, on Kali's side, we're going to get a look at a little bit more of Level 8. This was the dungeon that brought us the bow in one of the basements early on. So now Yumi is coming up to Death Mountain, and I don't recall where 6 was. Or have we seen 6? Is 6 the one we haven't seen?
We have seen all the levels. I forgot exactly where 6 was.
6 was Forgotten Spot. I see. Thank you, Camian. So that might end up being like the last spot that Yumi checks up on Death Mountain. Now I think Kali ended up running out of bombs up here, so it's also possible that Yumi might encounter the white sword in the screen just north of the one that he left, because I don't think Kali managed to make it there. I could be wrong. And if so, that would just be tragic for Kali.
Love the music reference from the first. Oh, actually, both of those were music references. Some more money to figure out if the middle secret actually gives us anything useful.
Valley Lake is an entrance to death. Yeah, old man. You've already seen it. Just southeast of 1Q1.
Could we have a possible big dogger block for the other item, staircase item in 8?
So now Yumi's gonna head over here to a few things that I don't think we've seen from either runner yet. Kali's being frugal with the bombs. Gonna try to bomb the wall and the fire at the same time. Does manage to get another bomb drop, which is fantastic. And Yumi's putting the magical sword to use, able to just one-shot these blue moblins at this point. And here comes Forgotten Spot for Yumi. He is going to go ahead and branch over here, and so Yumi will discover Dungeon 6. And finally, perhaps start putting the very last pieces of the puzzle together. So for anyone who's joined us late, the story of this seed has really been the discovery of level 1. Yumi, early on, discovered level 1. It had both the wand and the any key in it. And that ended up being an advantage that just slowly compounded and compounded over the whole course of the race for the last 45 minutes. Put Yumi in a great spot, and Kali, meanwhile, has been struggling on just about everything. We still don't know where the white sword is, and Kali's explored most of the overworld. And Kali had long stretches where couldn't manage to get a global bomb drop, and finally picks up the book as a 4-drop item in level 8, and look at that map.
And Kali has seen level 1, he just chose not to dig it to the extent of being able to find the items in there.
I forget, was it a Wizrobe dungeon? It was very early on, and so just like at 3 Hearts, I don't even remember if Kali had the sword at the time.
I don't feel like it was Wizrobes, because Yumi cleared that fairly quickly. It might have been Dark Nuts.
Okay. Blue Anmola, everyone's favorite, most fair in the game enemy. He says, dripping with sarcasm, I hate those guys. Magical Sword is a pretty nice way to help deal with them, though.
Yeah, those things are my least favorite in the game.
And I might have calm cursed by mentioning their name aloud, because now Kali's fighting one as well. And it takes him out. Meanwhile, Yumi finds a power bracelet on the floor in level 6, which is not going to be required, so that's kind of a dud of an item. But it does mean that now Yumi can just focus on Triforces and basements. So it does give Yumi some faster routes. Oh, wow, and it's the recorder in the basement in the next room for Yumi. Right about now, Yumi might be thinking it's too bad that we have to get a Triforce piece out of level 6. Because I managed to get 2 items out of this dungeon very quickly. But now who knows how much time it's going to take to explore the rest of it. Oh my goodness, look at level 8 and the map. We're in a shoot room. The Triforce is in a segment to the left of where Kali is standing. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty evil.
Alright, Yumi just being methodical, trying to clear rooms as fast as he can here in this 6. Kills one half of the land mola, exits the room to peek in the next, discovers there's just a key, decides to go back and one-shot the red Wizrobes. Bing bang boom. Get it done. Kali's also trying to get it done, but with the wood sword, everything just takes longer. Yumi checking for transports and for basements. Looking all around this 6, trying to find a good route, but doesn't even have the map yet.
Oh, Moneymerks was asking a question in the chat. We actually I don't think we've seen the power bracelet spots yet, so it's possible that the white sword could be under one of those spots or under the recorder spot.
Indeed. Yeah, the power bracelet was just picked up for the first time moments ago by Yumi here in level 6. And yeah, and we also never saw a hint about the white sword's location. And so it's possible that the hint might be under one of the power bracelet spots as well. And so I'm not sure that we're ever going to find out the answer. Yumi's doing a good job. He's finished up just about all the left-hand column here. I'm not sure why he's killing the Wizrobes in here. Sport. He wanted to refill his bombs after spending some bombs. I'm not sure. But I would guess that there's only like 8 rooms left in this 6 that Yumi hasn't seen at this point, just based on how large 6s typically are. And Kali had been up here on Death Mountain looking for the white sword, ran out of bombs, and so now has had to come back up here again with the bombs, only to discover that it's not here. Nothing is going right for him today. And there is the Triforce out of level 6 for Yumi. Kali did try checking mags at 10 hearts. Yumi's first check was at 13, and it did lift. So we don't know if 11, 12, or 13 is what Kali would need in order to finally get a sword upgrade. And you mentioned at the beginning that Kali had found level 1 and has never gone back to it. Is it possible that he mismarked the map?
I'm not sure. So on my marker board, I found he found level 8 first, followed by 2, followed by 1. So he found it fairly early on. I guess he just didn't choose to go back to it for some reason.
Realizes he just passed some bomb droppers, and with the luck he's had, he's like, better go ahead and kill some of them, and actually, okay, is headed back up here. So this is level 1. It was at Vanilla 6. Kind of out of the way.
Okay, so he saw 5 rooms and then dipped back out.
And 1 was actually reasonably kind when it came to keys. Go ahead, so Yumi just found the bow.
I bet it was because he didn't have bombs.
Probably. That's been kind of the story of his seed. And now he doesn't want to spend them, but it would be good to spend them to make this room go a lot faster, and you might get another bomb drop. Oh, this has got to be so frustrating. And then on Yumi's side, he's fighting Boo and Molos. That's also frustrating. This game can be frustrating sometimes. Seven had 2 hearts, if I recall correctly.
Yes, that is correct.
Kali grabs a heart out of the Gibdo, thinking that's another chance at mags. Yumi decides to do some door strats on the landbow, fighting with the wand at range. And is rewarded with the map, and so now he'll get to look at this thing. This hideous pile of toxic sludge that oozed out of the sewers to come terrorize the neighborhood that is the map of Dungeon 8. So I think I've got a good sense of how Kali is feeling at this point. How do you think Yumi is feeling at this point?
So, you mentioned earlier that, like, it's always, like, a natural tendency to feel behind. So, I feel like Yumi might feel pretty good right now, but I don't remember how fast their first race ended. But they were super close, so I have to wonder if Yumi may not feel entirely as secure as would feel having.
Yeah, I just keep thinking back to that Dungeon 4 where he died like 3 times in the Pole's voice room, and it just ended up being a big time sink for a 4. And so since then, though, he's been pretty much cruising. Kali's finally getting the any key out of 1, so that's going to be one thing that he's going to be extremely happy to see, although wishing that it had been 40 minutes ago.
Yeah, for real.
It's always super bittersweet, like when you find an item that's like, okay, I really needed this item, but also I really wish I would have had this item a half an hour ago or something. And Kali decides to grab the Triforce.
Yumi deciding to tap out in the same room that Kali did earlier with the likes with the 5 drop down in that bottom left corner of 8.
Yumi would like some bombs. Not buzz, bombs, but doesn't have the money once again. Or the upgraded. And I feel like the compass was down in the lower left, and the Triforce is down in the lower left, but it's not accessible from the lower left. And so it's possible that Yumi will stumble into a transport staircase that leads to the Triforce. However, it's also possible that Yumi will take it down. It appears answer number 2 was the correct one in this instance. Yumi's back to the beginning of Dungeon 8.
So now that you mention it, that one room in 8 that has the dig dogger with the push blocks could be for the Triforce as well as the item. Because we're missing the second staircase item as well.
If it is, then that's almost game, set, and match for Yumi. Because he'll at least be able to find it. Kali would have to go back to 6 first. Then again, Kali's got the red ring. Yumi might take multiple deaths in this 8, and I'm going to be curious to see if it decides to like change up strategy here. Is stepping out of the dungeon, okay. Has the potion letter in his possession. We got this off the raft in the middle of the lake.
I wonder if he doesn't go refill his hearts at the fairy fountain at some point, too.
Gonna grab some red fruit punch. But looks like headed directly back. And we don't know where he needs to go, so we don't have a good sense of whether or not... Looks like maybe gonna try to pick up some easy hearts off of an enemy, or maybe actually go to the fairy fountain. Nope, I just forgot where level 8 is. He's just going back to 8. Okay. Yeah, we don't know where the path to the Triforce is, and so 2 potions for Yumi may or may not be enough to try to finish off this level 8.
Yeah, see Improv mentioning if the silvers end up being the floor drop in 4, that is true. We haven't seen that, and I know Yumi was looking for it, but I don't think if he figured out whether he was going whether he was going to go back and try to find it, or if he had just already seen it and just didn't mark it. There's a good chance it could be in 9 as well.
That is my default assumption in every race. Silvers are in 9. Don't worry about it.
We're down to a 50% chance now because we got 4 drops outstanding.
There's 2 more missed globals for Kali, trying to get bomb drops, and that's been just kind of the story of the scene for Kali, sadly. Yumi with the magical sword now is able to kill the virus in 1 shot, and gets a bomb drop that he didn't happen to need there, and now is headed in the direction to where we know the compass is going to be. We'll then discover the shoot room, prevents him from actually getting to the Triforce there. Also going to take the time to kill this room, but it's going to turn out to be nothing. Meanwhile, Kali is back for, I believe, the 3rd dip into 5, which always feels awful. Still on the wood sword, an hour and 20 minutes into the seed. That also feels awful. There's the meat block up at the top of level 5. It's going to turn out to be a non-factor in this particular seed. Yumi's cleared out about, I want to say, half to 2/3 of 8 at this point, and is finding a stair. And if this leads to L6, it's game over. There we go. And it's just souls. Yumi's got the Triforce, he's headed to 9. Oh! And we did get a hint that the white sword was power bracelet locked in the Lost Hills, apparently. And the power bracelet was randomly on the floor in the middle of 6. Yeah, and so the wand was just the complete turning point, and the choice to dig level 1 by Yumi and to skip it by Kali has just been the entire story of this seed. So at 121, Yumi is entering Dungeon 9. It's a rather small 9. And was that an immediate Ganon? I think I made it up. I hear the level 9 music, and my brain just tries to insert Ganon roars in it.
Yeah, we're also used to keying in on that you start hallucinating that's there.
Well, as a reminder, both of these runners have a record of 2-1 in their group. And so this tiebreaker race is just for seeding, and it looks very much like Yumi is going to get the top seed, and Kali will take the other seed into the brackets. This time we do hear him. Yumi's going north. Nope. Yumi's going, nope. Yep. To the east. It's not to the east. Yumi decides this room is easy to kill. I'm gonna see if there's a staircase in here for some reason. Now he knows there is. Silvers, right. I forgot we were looking for them. Top Dutch quality commentary. Thank you, chat.
So, interesting choice by Yumi. I would imagine most people might want to at least see what the other side of the staircase is, so that if you start finding things that are end up being connected to each other, like those first two that you went in could connect to each other, at least you have that information.
Yeah, you save having to kill the room on the second side. Yeah, I agree. When I'm looking for silvers, and I remember that I'm looking for silvers, I usually just take every stair to the other side and just kind of bounce all around the dungeon so that I can just knock off as many stair rooms as quickly as possible.
But at least this nine's been pretty friendly as far as not requiring you to take any transports to keep exploring yet.
And Yumi's getting good door coverage, like he's getting a chance to see where the, kidnapped awaits in the southwest of Skull, where Princess Zelda's room might be, or where it definitely is not. And to answer a question in chat, I don't think we have a restream broadcast for the other race tonight. I could be wrong about that. Kali wants to get some bombs before touching this Triforce. But again, Globals have just been unkind. Kali gets no bombs, kills all the Wedge Rose Rogues, and picks up the Triforce. Moving on, out of Dungeon 5.
So to answer Pedantic Potato's question, the three-person race, depending on what the situation is, it looks like they would have a chance to run the last chance qualifier tomorrow, and then they would get the seedings for the group out of that. And then if they ended up qualifying but not in, or if they ended up qualifying and then ended up in the top 8, then their score would be removed from the top 8. I don't know if I said that very well.
Yeah, these group stages, we've ended up with a lot of tiebreakers, and so there have been a lot of races to cover, and not everyone's had time to finish things in. 2 runners advance automatically out of each group. Tiebreakers will determine which of the runners advance sometimes and what the exact seeding is in a match like this one. And then some people who don't have time to run the tiebreakers can just have all of those people who would be in a tiebreaker can run in the last chance qualifier that's going to be on Saturday night, I believe, and use the last chance qualifier time both as the tiebreaker and as the last chance qualifier for the loser of the tiebreaker, basically, and the winner's time just doesn't count against all the other last chance qualifiers, because in addition to the 2 people out of each group, 8 people, the top 8, who didn't advance into the brackets out of their groups, also move on to the brackets out of the last chance qualifier match. I'm not sure that I said that well either. It's complicated.
So I think, okay, I see what you mean. My group almost ended up in a situation with a 3-way tie, but it would have been a 3-way tie for second place, not for first. Because to have a 3-way tie, you'd have one person on 3-0, and the other 3 on 1 win and 2 losses.
So yeah, if it's a 3-way tie at the top of the group, then 2 of them would qualify, and the third one would do the last chance. And if it's 3-way at the bottom of the group, then it's just one of them qualifying and the other 2 going for last chance. Meanwhile, Yumi has traversed a whole lot of this level 9, is still missing some very important silver arrows that no one who ever comes into level 9 would ever forget about, and has discovered many, many blue Wizrobes who look like they're very hungry for some bombs, and Yumi is happy to oblige them. Could not get the boomerang out fast enough to re-pick up the bomb pack, however. We saw 2 hearts out of 7 to answer a question in chat. Yumi's doing a good job with this any key to just go ahead and touch every door to unlock it to make sure it's going to show up on his mini-map, so that when he's checking that later, he knows how he can get around. And here's another stair. Could this be the one? Well, kind of. It's a basement, and it's got a heart container. Hey look, a staircase. I wonder what could be down here. It turns out to be some end of some transport. And Yumi is back to killing more bad guys to continue looking. Kali kills another 5 blue moblins and gets 0 drops. Mags is not liftable at 11 hearts. Yumi's still getting more exploration toward the left middle of this dungeon 9. I think it won't be long before we discover silvers or the locations of the kidnapped over in the southwest. Here's another staircase for Yumi. And it's a heart container! Okay! Chat wins! The silvers are elsewhere. And Yumi immediately exits.
So we have 1 staircase item, an 8, and a floor drop, and 4, the 2 outstanding items.
Correct. The book was the floor drop and 8, and the bow was a basement item and 8. So yeah, it is a basement and 8, and a floor and 4. And Yumi, however, has not seen the red ring in 5, and so here we are.
I'm still not so secretly rooting for the staircase to be the one that has the
dig dagger?
Yes. Just because this seat has had enough weird things going on that one more wouldn't surprise me.
Well, I heard a rumor that Dig Dogger hates certain types of rap music. So, presumably that's what people will be playing on the recorder. Yumi still has a blue potion in his back pocket. Looks like it might need to be spent here shortly. Kali, with the book, already knows what this level 6 is shaped like, which may make it go a little bit more quickly. Nice clip into the transport, and Kali's just going to take advantage and see where it takes him. And Yumi decides to drink that last potion. The good news for Yumi is, even though it's not going to be the item that Yumi wants, it will be the item that means that Yumi is unlikely to need any more potions. And I didn't notice when it happened, but Califax has the wand. And now has the recorder out of 6.
Yeah, I know he was back in there, but I didn't recall him actually picking up the wand. Probably he was looking away over to Yumi's side of the screen.
What if the silver arrows turn out to be Goma blocked?
I think both people are going to have a really bad time.
I think chat wins. Is what would happen then. I maybe shouldn't have said it aloud due to commentator curse, but we haven't seen a single Goma in this entire seed, so I think the way the boss is rolled, it's probably impossible.
And even though Callie's on with sword, he's starting to close the gap a little bit. If he's able to find the silvers without trying to go into 9.
Looks like there's just a couple rooms at the very top of level 5. One of them is the meat block. And so I'm guessing the upper right room might have been where... I don't remember the red ring being there specifically, but maybe I'm just misremembering. And I don't know what's actually going through Kylie's head, but I can imagine if I were in the situation like 20 minutes ago, I would have been in, oh, just put me out of my misery kind of mode. And now all of a sudden, but you gotta just keep playing, you gotta just keep pressing on, you never know what's happening to your opponent. And now all of a sudden, this might turn back into a race. Yumi is still confounded by level 5, which is not even the right location to be in, we know. We're going to get map check after map check. But it looks like Yumi had been in every room. And so unless Yumi wants to re-clear the entire dungeon, it seems like that is going to be abandoned. And while it's not going to matter for the silver arrows, it may matter for Yumi's longevity back in Dungeon 9 when we eventually get back there. And Yumi's choosing 8 rather than 4. I find that interesting. That's another thing that I'd like to ask in the interview afterwards. Why 8 rather than 4 on Yumi's side here?
My hopes and dreams are dashed. It wasn't a push block.
Yumi's getting to the very extreme northern edge of this level 8, where Callie is right now as well. Oh no, Yumi takes a death. Exactly what we called out. Already used the potions. Did not manage to find the red ring in 5. Wow. What seemed like it was going to be a rout 15 minutes ago, now all of a sudden is turning into a race. There's drama. They call 9 the Great Equalizer, and by not having the silver arrows today, it might be doing exactly that. There's no basement up here. Yumi has seen it now. It's gotta be the upper right from his perspective.
So this is a random question, which either you or chat might be able to answer. The glitch that allows you to do extra damage for using the wand and a sword at the same time, does the extra damage work with wizards?
I would imagine no, because the wand doesn't deal any damage to the whiz ropes. And it seems to me I've tried, just using like a white sword and a wand and a whiz rope, and you only get the white sword damage.
Okay, getting some confirmation from CD Improv as well, yeah. I wasn't sure because I don't think I've ever actually executed it correctly. But I know the wand can't hurt him from melee, so I wasn't quite sure. So.
But yeah, I could totally imagine that, if there was just like a flag, like, did you successfully damage the thing? And another, thing that's like, how much damage did you deal? It could have been implemented a different way, but it could have worked out that way.
So I'm seeing silvers in 4. What was the other item in 8? Was it just a heart? No, obviously not.
I don't know if we're speculating silvers in 4 versus...
Oh, it's red candle. I see it now.
Oh, I see. Got it. This is not at all where I expected this race to be after 20 minutes. This is not at all where I expected this race to be after an hour and 20 minutes. This has been a wild ride. So Yumi, I guess, is headed to the ferry for a refill? Oh, it's gonna purchase a blue potion. Is really thinking hard. And is it whistling to 4 or 7? Nope, just whistled like 2 screens back to 8. Alright. Yumi is committed. The good items are always an 8. So what's in his head? He's gonna go find it. It's a red candle. Points to both of our runners for continuing to play, because they've both had some extremely frustrating moments in this seed. And so, if somehow by some miracle there is a Goma blocking the silver arrows, like, that might put them over the edge.
Yumi got trolled by another Dodongo.
That's what they do. They really turn surprisingly quickly, without any notice. I always think, I watch other people do Dodongos, and I'm like, you should have just placed the bomb at this moment, it would have been fine. And then I go try to do it myself, and it's like, nope! It's like the little kid when you're trying to, like, play the airplane to feed him the spoonful of applesauce or whatever. And it's like, trying to get the bomb right in there, and then they just turn their head at the last minute. And I don't remember, was this a stair? Is Callie about to get the Triforce? Yes. And so now from Callie's perspective, gamble on 9 for silvers. And so now Callie's going to be back, and Yumi is just stabbing at the air angrily. Oh my goodness. Yumi is whistling back to 4, and so he does know the correct location to go check. But doesn't know that it's the correct location because this is the 3rd dungeon he's tried to redig and has been unsuccessful with each of the first 2. Or maybe he got the red candle out of 8, I missed that.
Alright, so it looks like Callie's gonna follow in the footsteps of Yumi and banking on the silvers being in 9.
And ironically, the 2 hearts that are in Dungeon 9 for Callie could get Callie the magical sword.
This is true.
And Callie has the red ring, and Yumi doesn't, and Yumi just took another death. This race is not over, and I would have never guessed this 35 minutes ago. Chad is pointing out that Yumi is currently out of bombs, which could come into play in terms of finishing out this 4. And meanwhile, on Yumi's side, we located Ganon, or at least I'm pretty sure we know where he is. Zelda, did we ever see her room? In any case, the point being, it's possible that Callie will actually come out with more information than Yumi has when it comes time to return to 9. Assuming we ever get that far.
Yeah, we have the hint for where, or like what
Southwest, right.
But that's it.
We've not actually witnessed the shutter that didn't open on Yumi's side earlier. Good job by Yumi to stab the bomb before going into the staircase.
Ah, so Callie got one of the hearts.
Correct.
I wonder if he's gonna go check Max real quick.
It certainly looks like it. Might also be an opportunity to just grab the fairy before heading back in with the red ring, maybe not. But yeah, upping your damage output to 4x would be a huge game changer for Callie. But we don't know if it's 12 or 13 hearts where Mags picks up it, I believe. And also, yeah, you get 2 hours into a seed and just everything's going wrong, can't seem to make the screen scroll, and so it's just going to have to take a few extra seconds to walk across the bridge. Yumi has discovered a new room, which has silver arrows lying on the floor. You needed bombs in order to bomb into the room. Yumi has the final piece of the puzzle. Well, has the second to last piece of the puzzle. He needs to locate Zelda after killing Ganon, but is headed back to 9.
And Mags pulls on 13.
Oh, Callie cannot catch a break. Collie's had extremely bad luck with bomb drops off of globals. And just the fact that the white sword was PB blocked and didn't get the wand early. Huge game changer. Meanwhile, Yumi and an hour and 50 is finally witnessing Ganon. In a moat room! Does have one potion. Dead.
I would go straight to the fairy fountain that's a couple screens over.
There you go. Save. You're going to be 2 south of the fairy fountain. Go hit up the ferry. You could even just continue back, up A, continue again, so you don't have to wait for the ferry to fill you up. And then walk right back to 9. Or wait it out at the ferry and, like, punch the air in the meantime, because you're so frustrated. And to answer your question in chat, if you have been absent for the past hour, Yumi last location the silvers, tried to redive 5, did not manage to find the item, which was the red ring. Redove 8, finally found the red candle. Redove 4, and just got the silvers. And in the meantime, Callie has been clawing to stay alive. But also doesn't know where the silvers are. Ganon, Redux. This time with hearts.
Yumi, you're one tile too high for that.
Fortunately, I'm going to say fortunately, didn't use the potion because just never got in a good position. And at this point, did just save a minute ago. And so if he's thinking about that, he can get in here, try to get in the right spot, use the potion, and get this kill. And if he doesn't, can always retry. Oh, there is no potion. He has no potion. That's also a good reason to not use the potion. Ganon decides to give Yumi a little hug. Says, I'm enjoying playing around. Yumi disagrees. Saves. Gonna go have a little chat with the fairy once more. Did I mention that this race is not over? Yumi's currently sitting on 18 rupees, can't afford a potion, and does also need at least 1 rupee to kill Ganon.
Like, you can camp that bottom left corner, but he was one tile too high to do that. You gotta park in the water.
And I can imagine from Yumi's side, he's also thinking, like, did my internet connection drop? Like, why haven't I seen a dot on the other side?
Because this seed was a handful.
It looks so great 20 minutes in. We had bow, we had ladder, we had wand, we had any key. 20 minutes into the race.
There we go.
Hey. The Triforce of Power has been obtained. Now, good job. Do not up an A before you actually hear the do-do-do-do-do that says you picked it up. And now, where is Zelda? She's allegedly in the southwest. Roller coaster of emotions. I think we're going to see another map check. There it is. You know where you need to go, if you remember the southwest clue. Not through the lobby. Meanwhile, Callie sees Ganon, sadly missing an important item, and cannot bomb out of Ganon's room. Oh, can actually. I lied. Just don't listen to my commentary. It's mostly wrong. It looks like it's the bottom of the V column for Yumi, where Zelda must live, but we're not sure how to get there. Is that what I'm reading? Ah, sounds like we have been to where that was. And perhaps Yumi's about to find it? Meanwhile, I guess Callie still has not located the second heart container to know that the silvers lie elsewhere. For a relatively small 9, this one has also confounded our runners pretty well. Callie has discovered the other heart container. This will be enough to get mags. Callie seems to be thinking it through and is immediately headed to the magical sword cave. Callie has all of the information, knows that, oh no, could be 4 or 6. 4 is more likely, I think, for Callie to try, but there's the magical sword. Meanwhile, Yumi is still running around this level 9. Trying to figure out where has not been discovered in order to take a magical stair to teleport over near Princess Zelda. Or perhaps where has already been discovered. Have we forgotten? A single mist-marked room in Dungeon 9 can definitely be the end of the seed. And we're coming up on 2 hours in this race that continues to throw us curveball after curveball.
Alright, Callie correctly going into 4.
Callie does not have arrows.
But he's got mags now, so this should go a lot quicker.
But still, it's just kind of the story of the seed. I think Yumi is seeing red at this point and is not seeing any of his map because he's going in circles. It's not going to happen, but this is one of those cases where get up, walk out of the room, and stew for 30 seconds, and then come back down and sit down at the controller again might be the best thing.
Yeah, for sure. I'm still a big proponent of, if you see a staircase, go find the other end and mark it. And then see
This is where that investment ends up having a huge payoff in a scenario like this.
It's like 20 seconds of your time just to get it sorted out. maybe 30 seconds,
But at the same time, yeah, like back at 137, like or so, like I was talking about how Yumi's got to wonder, you know, like why the dot done hasn't been coming already when he was in line the first time. But we're now over 2 hours into this race.
Oh, just mentioning, is that for Yumi? That Yumi, this marked the start of his map.
I see. I don't know if I've mentioned it recently, but we still have a race.
So we have a request for the tracker, a race map button.
It's fair. Definitely send me a DM, so I'll remember.
Oops, I royally messed up.
I think it has been suggested before, but now this is especially salient to me. So it might move higher up in the priority queue. Because sometimes you just make such an awful mess that the only thing you can do is start over. Welcome, Raiders, to an epic finish of what's been an exhausting seed for both runners, with huge frustrations on both sides. Yumi is just looking for Zelda. Cannot find her in this level 9, despite knowing that she is in the southwest, allegedly. Kali, after having had everything possibly go wrong, I believe has just picked up the silver arrows and is now headed back to 9, and has the advantage of having the red ring, but has not yet killed Ganon, obviously, having just gotten the silvers.
Did Kali find the location of the princess room?
I don't recall seeing that. But
okay,
chat
is
yes.
saying yes. Okay, well, game on.
This is the race that never ends. Callie is going to discover that we're in a Chevy moat room. Let's see how Callie fares 2 hours into the race having to deal with this added wrinkle. The red ring will help. But will it help enough? A blue potion will definitely help.
He's on the right tile if he scoots left.
Yumi takes another death.
There it is.
That's a big hug, though. Don't need that many stabs with the magical sword. But we're taking a lot of damage. There we go.
Alright, we have bacon.
Don't forget to pick up the Triforce of Power. And now to hopefully find the Triforce of Get Me Out of This Seed. Also known as Princess Zelda. And Camion had it right. L6 apparently is the transport stair, and Kali knows it and is headed directly to finally put us all out of this seed. Yumi takes another death.
Well, we got
Get your GGs in the chat.
We definitely got our wish for a close finish in 9.
Oh my goodness. This was... I mean, you talk about epic comebacks. Like, I really thought that Kali had no chance 45 minutes ago. And here we are. The great equalizer has done its equalizing. And yeah, gotta feel bad for Yumi. But we're joined by our race winner. Congratulations. It felt like everything went wrong. Tell us about it.
Oh my gosh. I am not good enough at this game to do the whole thing on wood sword. I'm just not. So I kept trying to dig for my my white sword until I figured out it had to be power bracelet blocked. And I'm assuming the power bracelet had to have been the other item in 6 because that's the literal only item I didn't find.
Indeed. And we're joined by Yumi as well.
But yeah, I was playing really poorly, especially in the beginning. I just kept dying to nothing. So many overworld deaths, and the start screen was so far away from everything. I thought there was no chance in hell I was going to win this.
Yumi, I think you might be muted on your end because we're seeing you
hear
right
me?
up. Now I can.
No, I just haven't said anything yet. Yeah, that was. I mean, it was mostly my fault. The first time through, I was cruising. I should have been done in like an hour. No bullshit. Bull crap. Sorry. Level 4, I missed that one room again, and that was Silver's. I couldn't figure out what I was missing in 4, and I literally cleared the whole entire rest of the seed. Fast too, really, really fast. Like cruise, and then last location Silver in 4, because I missed a room, and then 9. What was it supposed to go in 9?
In the very first... Go ahead, Callie.
I was going to say, I assume you found Ganon, because Ganon was pretty close to the start.
Yeah, I've been running around looking for Zelda for a half hour, dude.
So down and left one from Ganon was a staircase that took you right to Zelda.
Why do I have marks?
Chat was saying that it seemed like you had your entry room mismarked, Yumi, on your map for people who were watching your stream. And so possibly that's kind of like misaligned the rest of it.
Oh my god. I mean, how long? I was looking for Zelda for at least 25 minutes, right? Something like that.
It was very dramatic for us.
I mean, at least. And that was after just completely like, you know what? That was just bad. I don't know how I missed that room in 4 too. If you see me, I just stood there staring at level 4 for like a long time. And I had it full cleared. This was at like 15 minutes in. And I'm just staring at it like, I don't have another item marked. Like, what am I missing? And again, just like a couple races ago, it was that one nub that I just missed. But oh well, GG, Califax, man, GG.
GG.
It's highly frustrating, but you know, this happens. This is all
I was actually laughing at myself because you rolled the seed, and
that's right.
Your combat is way better than mine. I was like, this is totally a Yumi seed right here. He can do all this crap on wood sword that I can't do on wood sword.
Yumi didn't have to do it on wood sword because Yumi, you got the wand at like, what, 10 minutes?
Not even. It was like, I mean, I literally, was the first place I went. I walked over to, what was that, whatever, the corner 2 or whatever. Dude,
Yeah,
I was so good. I don't know who was.
So yeah, Kali, we wanted to ask you, like, we had a few questions. And Kali, one of them was, did you forget about Dungeon 1? Like, you didn't go back there for a long time.
Yeah, kinda. I mean, I wasn't anywhere near it. And,
right.
I was trying to go towards the dungeons that I was close by, but yes, I did kind of forget about 1 for a while. I was bomb blocked in almost every dungeon. I couldn't get bombs for the life.
You missed so many globals. We called it out many times. Like, you're just killing Blue Moblin, Blue Moblin, Blue Octorok, Blue Moblin, Blue Moblin, and getting nothing.
Yep.
Yeah, that always.
Bomb drops were very unkind to me in this seed. And I'm like, I don't remember which one of the dungeons was a room full of red or orange wizardrobes, and I literally sat and sorted all of them down with wood sword, even with the Triforce sitting there, and didn't get a single bomb drop.
Yeah. I mean, the beginning of that seed, I was just absolutely... I mean, I went 2-1, the first 2 dungeons I did, and I got 1. Obviously, the sword was free. I was literally... By the time I got to level 4, it was like maybe 25 minutes in, and I had 4 or 5 Triforces, and every item I needed except for bow and silvers that were in... I mean, I was like, I'm about to sub-hour this bad boy. I was like, nope. Nope. And it took a turn real fast. What dungeons did you do first?
I did 2 first, and
so you
then
did find 2, okay.
I did. I found 2 early, and but I left after getting just one item at first, and then I eventually went back and grabbed the ladder, and then I did 3. But I mean, I had only 2 and 3 done for like over an hour. I think it was bad.
Yeah, and you dug the bow out of 8 like super early, like before you even found level 2, I believe.
I did actually. Yeah, I got the bow. Like 5 minutes into the seed, I think.
And did you, money was tough in the seed? Like, did you consider trying to buy the wood arrows, or
I saved I could have bought wood arrows. I saved my money for the blue ring because of how bad the combat was, and because I didn't have a sword upgrade. And then by the time I was like, crap, I probably need to buy the wood arrows, I didn't have any money at that point. I had used it on bombs and the blue ring. But the thing about it is, I want to say I have 5 overworld spots left, and I want to say 2 of them are large secrets. So I kept thinking I will find another large secret, and then I can go buy arrows if I need them. But I never found one, so I'm assuming they were power bracelet blocked or maybe raft blocked.
Yeah, and that was kind of heartbreaking because you buy the blue ring, and probably about 3 minutes later, you found the red ring.
And then never had money for the rest of the seed. Yep.
Basically.
Darthling, I feel like there was some question that I wanted to ask about Dungeon 5, and I don't remember what it was.
There was. So, back in the earlier phase of the game, you found level 3, I believe it was first. I may be getting them backwards, but in that northeast corner, you found 3, immediately dipped out, and then checked the rest of the screens around that, and then found 5 right after that. So I think there was a question about what the thought process was on trying to find the rest of those screens before you start taking a dive at 3.
So my thought process was I desperately want my white sword, and so I figured I would check those 2 other spots before going into 3. And then because I found 5, then 5 was closer, so I ended up going in 5 first.
Okay, yeah, that's kind of what we were thinking. Might be looking for the white sword. And then I think we found out later that it was power bracelet blocked.
Yeah, I know exactly where it was. I just didn't have the power bracelet. But yeah, I think I dug about an extra 20 overworld spots or so that I didn't need to dig, because I knew where all the dungeons were. I was so desperate to find that white sword, and then obviously I eventually figured out where it was, and I was like, well, I guess I'm not getting it. And then I started checking mags every chance I could get. Every time I got a heart, I went back and checked mags, and couldn't get it until I think it was 13 hearts.
Yep. And I think that might have been Yumi's first check at 13. And Yumi, near the end, when you were trying to decide, I think like after you dipped out of 5 while you were looking for the silvers, you were trying to decide, I guess, between 4 and 8, and decided to go back into 8 rather than 4. But I guess was that based on the fact that 4 had already been so frustrating early in the seed, you figured 8 had a better chance because you knew what you were missing?
Yeah, I didn't know what I thought that I just mismarked in 4. Because I was I was looking at my map, and I'm like, I've been in every room. Like I mismarked. I just forgot to mark something. I deduced that way early on in the seed. I'm like, this is gonna bite me later, and sure enough, it always does. Like it always does, because the bow was free in 8. It was right on the way. It's like, and yeah, it's just that was it, man. I mean, that was it. I spent however much time looking for silvers, chasing the ghosts. They were in 4 the whole time. And then that 9, I still don't see the staircase you guys were talking about. I'm like playing with it, like as I'm talking. I marked one like just left of the entry, which that was staircase 4 that went up to the.
I guess the leftmost column, the 6th one down, 3 up from the bottom.
Yes, you're at the start screen. Go up 2 rooms and left 1 room.
Oh, how did I miss that room? I haven't. Oh, you know why? I see what it is. This is hilarious. So when I first came into the room with Ganon, I went right. I didn't have silvers, right? So I marked Ganon, the one up and the one to the left.
Oh,
so
no.
and then when I found Ganon, I forgot to like mark the one to the left that's not Ganon. And here's this room I never went back into because I had it marked as Ganon. Oh my god, dude.
It's
Rookie.
really interesting to like hear all of these things that kind of like went into each of yours and just kind of like puts together all the reasoning about like things that we were guessing about in terms of it. It ended up being a very dramatic one to watch. It will be also frustrating if you ever decide to watch it back, but also if you just want to like forget that it ever existed. Both of you
Yeah.
fortunately have good enough records that you're going to be moving on to the brackets. This was a tiebreaker for seeding. And yeah, there's lots of strong runners on, you know, both the top half and the bottom half of the brackets, I expect. So who knows who you'll end up drawing.
Yeah, for sure. Just gotta shake this one off and forget about it. I'm not watching this back. No way.
I was ready to forget about the seed like 30, 40 minutes in. I was like,
See, I
Yeah,
was the
that's
opposite. I was like cruising, like, let's go. And then I was like, how is he not done yet? Like, I kept looking up and looking up and looking up. And like, how? I don't understand. And then I guess they're
my
just
comment
doing
sucks.
funny stuff.
That's how I wasn't done.
Man, that's wild. Well, maybe we'll meet again later, man. We already got each other twice. I don't think
Yeah,
anybody else
right.
can say that. So,
Well, if that does happen, I hope I'm there to see it. Because this ended up being quite the trip.
yeah, for sure. Thanks a lot, guys, for the comms and, of course, putting the restream on. All that good stuff, yada yada. It was a good time for the first hour. Second one, not too much, but you know, we'll learn and move on.
Best of luck to both of you as you continue in the tournament.
Thank you.
There you go.
And I'm fairly certain as we're past midnight on the East Coast that ends kind of the race coverage for tonight. I don't know if there's still, I think there are some tiebreakers that are scheduled for tomorrow. I'm not sure if we have streams for them. So definitely check the schedule in the Rumble. And then we'll have the last chance qualifier race at some point tomorrow night where all the people who didn't already qualify for the brackets will be fighting for those last few spots.
And there is a possibility that a few people will be using that as their tiebreaker as well.
So yeah, there will be a lot of people racing tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Eastern. So definitely look forward to that, and we'll definitely be trying to put on a number of streams to try to keep track of all those runners as they're all competing against one another. So that'll be a whole lot of fun.
And I guess one more quick plug. Now Kior put out that the bracket reveal will be at 8 p.m. Eastern. Still to be determined where it will be streamed at.
All right. And yeah, I also want to say thanks to Camian, our tracker, who is also keeping track of lots of those details, like how to get around Dungeon 9. And yeah, thanks Darthling for being my co-com on this one. And chat, I hope you got what you paid for, because we had an exciting long race.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah, thanks. GG, Yumi.
GG, man.